What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Life and Suffering of Sir Brante, episode number 12 with me, GamerKnoob. Let's get the show on the road. A sound of thunder. Late one night, you send all the print shop employees home. Philippe Alfaro wishes to see you in person tonight. You sit behind your desk, anxiously attentive to every sound. You hear quiet stomping outside. Several men enter the room, led by Moss. Hello there, noob. They are all, without a doubt, armed. They stop at the door. You hear a cane tapping on the floor as Philippe walks in. He sits at your desk and squints at you without saying a word. So, Brante, how's our spy network doing? You open your mouth, but the advisor cuts you short. His voice is utterly hostile. Why aren't you getting any results? Do you think you can fool me, or are you too stupid to be entrusted with such a crucial mission? How can I explain your ineptitude, Brante? Betrayal or idiocy? Don't you understand that your job is the only thing you should be doing? Don't you see how important it is? I'm standing on the brink of chaos, and it's about to consume us all. The safety of the Empire depends on the intelligence you're supposed to be gathering. I trust you, and what do I get in return? Idleness and wasted time. Either you're dragging your feet on purpose, or you're too witless and sluggish to obey my orders, and I have no use for traitors or fools. Was I wrong to believe Sophia? Should I just dispose of you to find someone who can do better? We're not gonna beg. I don't beg. We could promise quick results. I don't think we're lying to him, though. That's terrifying. We'll promise quick results. You find out about the lie and he comes stab me in the face. You assure the advisor that this will never happen again. You will use all resources of the secret society to gather valuable information and recruit informants. The results will be presented to Sir Philippe in a matter of days. For your sake, Brante, I hope that turns out to be true. This is your last chance. If you fail to provide me with some interesting information very soon, I will conclude that your services and your life are of no further use to me. Philippe rises and nods to his men. On his way out, he whispers something in Oliver's ear. Then leaves the print shop with the others. You and Moss remain inside. The thug smiles amicably. I've been instructed to observe your progress, noob. You don't want to disappoint Sir Advisor again, do you, boss? You spend the next few days and sleepless nights gathering information for Philippe. The only way to do this quickly is to sacrifice a part of the last straw. You were planning to use these people to keep tabs on unrest in the city, but now, unbeknownst to them, they have become new threads in your spy network. Before long, new reports land on the advisor's deck. Leader of political salons, members of the Commoners' Party and the Lesser Quorum, noblemen who are critical of the authorities. They all find themselves under Philippe Alfaro's keen eye. Many of them are promptly arrested by the secret chancellery. Some are exiled, others are to be executed for plotting a rebellion. They are all friends, colleagues, or relatives of Last Straw members. Our society is consumed by desperation and panic. I didn't want to believe it, but there's no other explanation. There's a mole in the Last Straw. We need to find the traitor. You nod. Sooner or later, the mole will give himself away. Oh dear. But we're nearly a criminal mastermind. We about to be smart. Hand of the law. Oh, unrest is bad. Anazat is quiet. Now that the gendarmes are no longer need to spend their time constantly restoring order in the streets, the prefecture has decided to do everything it can to prevent any further unrest. A wave of arrests sweep the city. Gendarmes fill the dungeons with all sorts of people, merchants, actors, innkeepers, artisans. They have all been accused of helping the secret society and plotting a revolt against the Empire. One morning, on your way to the print shop, a grim man bumps into you and slips a note into your pocket. The hunt for the last straw has begun in earnest. There are some files in the prefecture that could lead the gendarmes to us. These papers must be destroyed. Send a small group there, tell them to sneak in and start a fire. It's a risky move, but we got no time to lose. Do it today. I expect results. Your only chance of infiltrating the prefecture is by distracting the gendarmes. You need to hurry. You call for a leader of Quad and tell them to gather a crowd. They need to create some kind of disturbance in front of the prefecture. But who should you entrust the more important job to? Take Leon and Jacques. They used to be miners. I recruited them pretty recently. They lost everything they had because of the nobles. Yeah, they'll be perfect for the job. All they ever talk about is revenge. They're angry, tough, and reliable. Also, they hardly know any of us. That'll work in our favor, too. You agree. Their mission is to sneak into the prefecture, find the files, and burn them while the crowd makes a scene and distracts the gendarmes. Good, I'll give them the instructions. We'll start tonight. A few hours later, a disgruntled crowd takes to the streets. They all have family members who were recently arrested by the prefecture. Free our sons. My husband is innocent. Let my brother go. He's no rebel. He's been slandered. The angry crowd buzzes. They, like a kicked hornet's nest, Leanne and Jacques try to break a window and sneak into the building. But one of the gendarmes hears the glass breaking and looks around. Hey, what are you doing there? Get up! You see Alita's confused face. The crowd she has gathered is loud and angry, but they are not ready to fight the gendarmes. No one tries to help Jacques and Leanne as the gendarmes arrest them. All you can do is watch as they are taken into the prefecture. The operation is a complete failure. You have to decide on your next course of action right away. The people have been too frightened since the recent wave of arrests, so they obediently accept every decision the authorities make. It would be difficult to persuade them to take to the streets. The very existence of the last straw is in jeopardy. The more peaceful the city is, the easier it will be to find you. You need to find a way to turn today's failure to your own advantage. But how? We're not gonna lie low, obviously. That's crazy. Are we freeing? Or are we provoking? Maybe we are lying low. I think we have to lie low, actually, yeah. You have made sure both you and the last straw are safe. You cannot let the prefecture discover you. You give the order the next morning. No one is allowed to contact the prisoners. A rescue attempt is out of question. Leanne and Jacques are dead to the last straw. This is the only way you can save your cause from a complete and utter failure. You ordered anyone who knew the two miners personally to leave the city until further notice. The prefecture raids a handful of your empty hideouts and abandoned safe houses, but finds nothing. The gendarmes try to spy on your secret society for a few weeks, then abandon the endeavor. The last straw can get back to work now, but with the threat of the prefecture looming over you, your job is becoming more and more difficult. You need to turn things around if you still can. We are now a criminal mastermind. Hopefully that will come in handy. Hopefully. Year 1141. The Guns of Illyria. Magra has received alarming news from the neighboring province of Illyria. The low-born convicts toiling in the Illyrian mines have revolted against their noble masters. For the first time in many long, peaceful years, commoners have taken up arms. Worse yet, the insurgents had guns and gunpowder, and no one knows how they got them. Gunpowder weapons were banned throughout the Empire as soon as they were invented. The lords deemed firearms dishonorable and unfit for the nobles. Even Legion soldiers are forbidden from using them. But now, gunshots were echoing through the mutinous Illyrian mines. The Imperial Legion was deployed to quell the riot. The Legionnaires slaughtered the rebels without mercy, and the uprising choked to death on its own blood before it had even begun. The south of Illyria is now a forest of gallows. The convicts' corpses were left swaying in the wind as a warning to any commoner who might dare to take up arms. Although the rebellion quickly succumbed to the Imperial military's onslaught, many Legion soldiers and officers were slain by the insurgents' firearms. Their steel armor was no match for the bullets. The rioters' weapons were destroyed in a public ceremony, but no one knows who built or smuggled them into the mines. All Imperial overseers soon issued public reminders in their provinces. The punishment for owning a gunpowder weapon is true death by execution. Though the Empire is still restless, still anxious, somehow, guns found their way into commoners' hands, if only for a short time. Could gunpowder and lead one day endanger the old ways of the Empire? Authorities of Magra fear that unrest may soon spill over here. Due to the double tax, peasant farms and industrial manufactories are facing harsh times. The province's wealth is steadily declining, but the discontent of the commoners is still held back by the eternal lot that demands they accept their suffering. Uh-oh. Guns are introduced. Chapter Peacetime ends soon. Examine possible chapter endings to check where you're headed. To achieve the goal that you've chosen, you have to meet all of its conditions. I mean, at the moment, we only really getting true death at the moment, my friends. Blast Wave. It's been 4 years since Archduke Melanidas and the Overseer Tempest first clashed. Each claims the right to collect taxes in the province. Now, for the 3rd year in a row, they are each collecting their own tax in the province and sinking deeper into poverty. The people who have been hit the hardest are miners, diggers, and anyone who owns and manages a mine. When gunpowder first appeared in Magra, mine workers felt hope for a better future for the first time in years, but the ban soon followed and those hopes died. People have lost their jobs, industrialists and manufacturers have lost their fortunes, the silver industry is in decline. The Lesser Quorum, led by Mayor Egmont, has been fighting to stop double taxation and reverse the gun ban on gunpowder for a long time, but to no avail. The common people blame Magistrate El Vermont. He has supported the gunpowder ban from the very beginning, finding it too dangerous to be handled by commoners. This friction is throwing sparks everywhere. You have always known that unrest would flare up one day, but oddly enough, it all begins with a celebration. It is early in the morning. You are eating breakfast with your family. Stefan is excited. Your brother has been invited to a ball at the Chancellery. He has been getting ready ever since he woke up. Magistrate Elvermon is a sly man, Stefan. I'd be wary of him if I were you. Some friends in high places can take more than they give. Enough, father. I know that already. But if we ever want to be ennobled by the sword, we have to take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself. There will be nobles of the highest rank there from all over the province. Besides, there is no risk in making Elvermon's acquaintance. Their conversation continues. Bored, you excuse yourself and go to the print shop. An ordinary day of work is followed by an ordinary evening, and you're about to close up the shop for the night when Alida arrives unexpectedly. She brings a letter. It's an urgent report from Sophia. You glance through it hurriedly. The writing is not Sophia's. Philippe has taken a great risk by writing to you under a false name, which means that this news is too urgent for caution. Our informers with Egmont's goons have warned us about a march tomorrow morning. There's trouble brewing. Miners, diggers, and even mine owners are involved. They're coming from all over the province to demand that Elvermon lift the gunpowder ban. This march has Egmont's name all over it. It's supposed to be peaceful, no bloodshed. Apparently, the miners think Elvermon won't have the guts to use force, so he'll have to listen to the demands. Their plan is to show up during the magistrate's party. They're mad because he's throwing money around while they're all starving. There are several hundred workers coming, and they're fired up. They should get their early warning. You have the night to get ready. Let's hope you know how to put this intel to good use. You burn the letter in the flame of a candle. If the paper turns to ash, you weigh your options. Egmont wants the protest to be peaceful, but will he be able to keep the angry miners from crossing the line? And Stefan will be at the damn party of his. This complicates matters. Either way, Philippe is right. You cannot ignore this. What will you do during this unexpected protest? We're not going to alert Elvermon, even though I'm like to. That's tempting. We could recruit them. Or we could profit. Let's profit from the Havoc. The unexpected march will be a perfect distraction for the gendarmes and the Legion soldiers garrisoned in the city. A chance like this does not come along every day. You cannot ask for a better opportunity for a big score. You ask Alida to find Moss for you, fast. Oliver arrives even faster. You're going to need a number of the last trial members for this, people who do not mind getting their hands dirty. They need to be ready by tomorrow morning. You're going to rob noble mansions blind while the miners are busy raising a ruckus at the Chancellery building. And I suppose Sophia doesn't have to know about this, eh? How's about Sir Philippe, boss? Good question. You're not a greedy man and you're willing to divvy up the profits fair and square. Oliver lets off a chuckle. A man in our line of work never misses a chance for some coin. It's a deal then. The two of you spend the rest of the night planning the robberies. This will be a fast smash and grab operation. You will not have much time. Stefan mentioned a great many names last night, so you know each and every noble family that will be attending the magistrate's ball. You expect their servants to have the day off for the occasion, so you should not encounter any resistance. Once everything is planned and ready, you go to bed, but you cannot sleep. As the sun rises, you head to the north gate to watch Egmont's march from a safe distance. The miners are dressed in rags, covered in soot and coal dust, hitting buckets with shovels and pickaxes with every step. The rhythm is as loud as it is chaotic. The miners are led by mine owners and industrialists, who are led in turn by Mayor Egmont himself. His voice can be heard above the incessant din of metal on metal. Give us back our gunpowder. Give us back our lives. If you want coal and silver, give us back our gunpowder. The entire procession repeats after him, hundreds of voices chanting in unison. The people of Anazat echo their refrain from the windows. Occasionally a gendarme finds himself in their path and scurries away. The thousands of protesters will soon approach the Chancellery building. The ball is cut short. Unable to flee the celebration in time, most of the nobles are trapped, surrounded by the chanting miners. Stefan is somewhere among them. Caught by the surprise, the magistrate barely managed to alert the city gendarmes. The number are too small to disperse a mob this size, but the Anazat Legion garrison will appear any minute now. This is no time to be careless. Sensing its strength, the mob continues to chant and bang on its buckets without any fear of the gendarmes. Amid the metallic cacophony, Egmont's words repeat again and again. Bring us back our gunpowder, bring us back our lives. You want coal and silver, bring us back our gunpowder. Egmont clambers up onto the makeshift podium. Workers of Magra, our so-called protectors, are having a feast today. Let them see you with their own eyes. Let them hear you with their own ears. You are the people who harvest the lifeblood of our province day and night in the darkness of the mines. You are the people hidden from the light of the day. You are the people who earn riches for our masters. The chant is deafening. Pickaxes and shovels clay against metal. This is the moment of truth. Either Elmavon concedes or there will be blood. To the magistrate's credit, he has the composure to face the people himself. The crowd goes quiet for him to speak. I understand your plight, but I will never accept such lawlessness in my city. Leave Anazon immediately before the gendarmes and the Legion force you out. The crowd murmurs in discontent. The people are on the verge of a riot. The magistrate feels it too. He raises his hands. However, I cannot promise you an end to the ban, but I am willing to procure grain and food with my own funds and distribute these supplies to everyone in need. This is a pittance, an insignificant handout designed to keep the people calm, but it is all they can hope for as long as the nobles remain in power. Judging from Egmont's face, he understands this too. Magistrate, we accept your offer. We are leaving for the warehouses and we expect the food wagons to arrive there by tomorrow. Once the miners have their supplies, they will leave the city. The mob disperses. Some leave feeling victorious, invigorated by the triumph of justice. Others, however, walk away feeling dejected and powerless. Moss arrives at the print shop in the evening and places a hefty pouch in front of you. We have a pretty good take. A few of the boys got too greedy, the gendarmes got them. But don't you worry. They don't know much, so there ain't no problem. We just gotta find some new dopes to replace them. The glint of silver and gold calms your nerves. The shouting mob and Egmont's bitter cries seem more distant now. Even when the history is happening before your very eyes, it's always important to look out for number one. Go up, money. Go up, diplomacy. Everything is great, yes. Hopefully. I don't know what ending we're heading for, and I didn't want to know. I want to get there and figure it out when we get there. The procession to the tree. A holy day is coming, a day when the entire Empire thanks the twins for the silver tree, the sign they left behind as a reminder of their eternal presence in this world. This momentous occasion is especially important for Anazon, but the clergy cannot agree on how best to celebrate it. Father Leonard has called for all worshippers of the twins to approach the Temple of the Silver Tree and kneel before the sacred relic, but the old clergy balks at the idea of Leonard of the new believers leading the ritual. The day has come, and an immense crowd is moving in a procession toward the temple near the Silver Tree where Father Leonard awaits. But an inquisitor by the name of Jean, stands in their way. She strikes a defiant pose. Confronted by a member of the Holy Inquisition, the procession reluctantly stops. People, turn back. Those who attend Leonard's rite will succumb to the new faith. Those who reject the lots will defy their divine design. You're about to bring the wrath of the gods down upon us all. Open your eyes, go back to your homes, and pray to the twins. The procession wants to move, but the people are confused, until Father Leonard himself walks out of the temple to meet Jean face to face. People of Anazon, no one has the right to deny you the sacred ritual of worshipping at the tree, not even the Inquisition. Is such a denial not more likely to provoke the wrath of the twins? The Inquisition must know that the new faith does not seek to challenge or defy the twins. We are merely trying to correct the mistakes of those who came before us. We do not anger the twins, we merely vex those who refuse to accept the dawn of a new age. Jean finds herself between a rock and a hard place. Seeing that she has no other choice, she lets the procession pass. The new faith's numbers have swelled of late. It cannot be stopped now. The Festival of the Silver Tree. Today is an important holiday. The entire Empire is celebrating the Festival of the Silver Tree, which commemorates the parting of gift of the twin gods, the divine sapling they planted on our mortal world in the middle of Anazon. The families of the city spend the day in peace and quiet, contemplating the divine roots that join together all people, their bloodlines, and the entire Empire. Mother always oversees this holiday. The day before the festival, she seemed to have shaken off her usual apathy and engaged in preparations with excitement. It was though her illness has loosened its grip. Mother gathers the entire family for the holiday meal. Father is in high spirits today, sharing jokes with you and Nathan. Stefan is trying to suppress an atypical agitation. Gloria is the last to join you at the table. She is wearing new breeches with high stockings and a yellow vest. Gloria, you're wearing men's clothing again. No, Mother, I'm wearing clothes women are forbidden to wear. Father gives Gloria a stern look. Stefan rolls his eyes but says nothing. Suddenly, Nathan speaks up. A few days ago in the market, I saw a grocer dressed as Overseer Gaius Tempest. He had a huge carrot for his scepter. He got a sound drubbing, of course, but until then it was quite a hoot. Everybody laughs at the ridiculous story, relieved. Even Gloria has a smile on her face when she sits down. The feast commences. Your phone finally feels warm for a moment. It wasn't so long ago the four of you couldn't even reach up to this table. The first word you used, Gloria, was gimme. Nathan used to cling to my skirt all the time, almost tearing it. And you, Noob, you couldn't talk at all yet, but your piercing stare was so expressive, it felt as if you were talking to me. Mother looks at Stefan and suddenly grows quiet. When I met Stefan, he was already 3 years old. He was so serious and a smooth talker to boot. I remember that he had a music teacher, but he was too shy to play in front of me, so I used to listen from the next room. Stefan's face twitches. The elder brother rises and moves to an old harpsichord. His fingers fly gracefully over the keys. A melody fills the house, melancholy and sweet. The last note lingers in the air, then silence falls. The family is awestruck. Words fail you all. Who wrote that? A nobleman from the capital between drinking a glass of wine and beating a servant? Your sister's cutting remark puts an end to the warm, cozy atmosphere. Stefan calmly turns to face her. No, it was I who composed this piece of music. It is called Mother. Mother rises to her feet. She would have needed help to do this just recently, but now she treads unassisted towards Stefan and draws him close. Stefan puts his arms around his stepmother's waist, then detaches himself awkwardly. May the twin gods bless you, Lydia. Gloria considers the scene with thinly veiled fury in her eyes. Of course highborn nobles like Stefan are made for the arts. They're the only ones lucky enough to have a soul and experience inspiration. Unlike us, the lowborn, we aren't supposed to feel anything but suffering, let alone express it in poetry. Everyone notices that Gloria is clutching pages filled with writing, her poems. Your sister casts a mournful glance at your family, and her eyes rest on you. I'm just gonna appeal to Mom. I'm sorry, Gloria. The Festival of the Silver Tree. I already read that. You walk up to Mother, take her hand in yours, and whisper in her ear. It is time for her to interfere and save the family celebration. She nods understandingly. Gloria, my dear child, since you were little I taught you to care for your soul, but if I failed to convince you, please think about the family that took us in. I implore you, do not take on noble activities, do not infringe upon the divine order. Gloria's face flushes red with fury. She clasps the pages to her chest. That's right, Mother, since I was little. Do you think I'm not reminded of it with every breath I take, of all the things I'm forbidden to do because I'm low-born? My dear girl, listen to me. There is more to life than your aspirations. You're a member of the Brante family, and our family is part of a greater universe. Your actions affect all of us. We are not isolated. We are being watched by the city, by the empire, by the twin gods themselves. So I'm not allowed to bear your name, but I still have to bear all the responsibilities that come with it. What hypocrisy. Gloria runs out of the room, outraged and tearful. The family is left dumbfounded. Finally, Stefan speaks. I hope, Lydia, that you can still make her see reason. Your words are wise. Let us heed them ourselves. The celebration continues despite Gloria's absence. Sorry, Gloria. I gotta look out for the fam. Not just one member of the family, but all the family. Year 1142. The Empire's heir is in danger. News from the capital quickly reaches every corner of the Empire. Gerion and Flavius, the heirs to the throne, have left the Emperor's palace for the province of Monia, which is ruled by the Great Chancellor Agirius Monorogue. The Great Chancellor has accused the Emperor's court of harboring malefactors conspiring against the Imperial heirs. This is why he offered them shelter and safety at his own impregnable citadel. The common people are practically worried by the news. They take it as their sign that the Chancellor is seeking to solidify his power by holding the heirs hostage. If this continues, Monorogue could coerce the Empire into revoking the Imperial law, thus depriving the common estate of any and all rights. All hope for reform in the Empire has vanished. From farmer to rich industrialist, the commoners are growing desperate. In your province, the authorities are trying their best to put people at ease. The magistrate of Anazat makes a speech from his balcony to the excited crowd below. Trust in your Emperor, good people. The Imperial heirs are the future of the Great Tempest dynasty. The Emperor has made the wise decision to send them far away from the scheming court. Great Chancellor Monorogue will take good care of them and keep them safe. All glory to the Empire, all glory to the Tempests. Uh-oh. He's got the heirs. An invitation to dinner. Commoners are still flocking to Anazat. Refugees from villages that have been squeezed dry, miners who have lost their jobs, craftsmen who have lost their last coin, they all come to the city in search of shelter, safety, and justice. Makeshift shacks litter the outskirts of the city, steadily growing into shanty towns. Every day, the people of Anazat see more men and women hanging around the streets looking for work, leaving their children in the care of the most infirm and elderly of the refugees. Of all the powerful people in the city, Mayor Egmont is the only one who considers this a problem. He has ordered several of his warehouses to begin converted into shelters and begin distributing bread to the refugees of free of charge. You and Sophia are sitting on the roof of an apartment building watching people huddle around a wagon. The bread line stretched to the small square between the buildings yesterday, but today it disappears down the back streets with no end in sight. Look at those poor bastards. They've been betrayed by their own masters. The nobles robbed them blind, razed their villages, and left them to die. Backbreaking labor, endless suffering, dying in the gutter, that's all they've ever given them. Would any of them blasted nobles even move a finger to help the refugees? Not in your life. Mayor Egmont's the only one who cares. He's their only chance for survival. Say, Brante, I hear Augustin Elborn and Mayor Egmont have been invited to your house for dinner. Is that true? How does Sophia know about this? Father asked you to keep it a secret. What difference does it make? You should have told me. Do you have any idea what this dinner means? It's a sit-down, Brante. They could be deciding the fate of our city, the fate of the last straw, the fate of our rebellion. You've got to get me invited to that dinner. Tell him I'm your friend, your fiancé, your lover. I don't care. Just find some excuse for me to be there. Okay? I don't want to bring her. I don't feel like I want to bring her. But maybe I do. Maybe I do want to bring her. I could say no! Oh, come with me, Sophia. Whatever. Of course Sophia can come to dinner tonight. She's going to need a proper outfit. No worries, Brante. I can behave in a noble society. Time for the dinner party arrives. The Brante house prepares for guests. You cannot remember the last time your entire family got together like this. Father isn't usually focused and serious today. Mother is wearing father's wedding gift, a precious brooch adorned with gems. To her, it is a small act of defiance. Commoners may not indulge in luxury, but today is a special day indeed, and she has found the courage to dare this small transgression. Stefan is more carefree and high-spirited than usual. He always enjoys his uncle's visits. Nathan is quiet, furtive, and inconspicuous as always. Gloria, however, only smiles to herself. Sophia is sitting at the table to your left. The family casts curious glances at her from time to time. It's so strange to see her at your home, together with your family. Mother is the first to acknowledge her presence. Sophia, you told us he was inviting someone important to him, but he never mentioned that this someone was a charming young lady. Pray tell, how did you and my son meet? It was a long time ago. We've known each other since we were very little. We used to play in the neighbors' yards together, and the noob helped me to get out of Anazon and go to the capital. He was a real hero, you know? You see dubious recognition in your family's eyes. My brother mentioned meeting an old friend in the capital, so that was you? Why yes, our paths crossed again in Eterna. What a wonderful city. I've spent such fond memories over the years I spent there. I was so lucky to have Noob on my side. He helped me a lot. Is that so? Then I don't suppose you could shed some light on what happened to him there. What was my son doing in Eterna all those years? He came home with a small portion, but refused to tell us where it came from. I'm afraid I don't know much about that myself. All I can say is that I was fortunate enough to introduce your son to a very important man, who proved himself and earned the man's patronage. Well, I certainly hope this man is a decent, honorable nobleman, not some upstart commoner with deep pockets like that Egmont. Stefan, could you please refrain from such remarks while Egmont is here, if only for my sake? Worry not, father. I would never embarrass you in front of Sir Elborn. I assure you, Sir Stefan, your brother's benefactor is one of the most respectable noblemen I've ever met. I'm sure the two of you would have a lot in common if you ever happened to meet. You watch in awe as Sophia charms your family with polite small talk, effortlessly picking the right words for everyone at the table. Her presence is so enchanting that your family enjoys a moment of peace and harmony for the first time in ages. The servants soon announce the guests' arrival. Baron Augustin Elborn and Mayor Egmont greet the master and mistress of the house, one after another, and then take their seats at the dinner table. After the traditional exchange of pleasantries, you enjoy an exquisite dinner followed by wine. There would ordinarily be dessert for Father and Stefan, but today the noblemen make do with wine. Elborn and Egmont finally begin to discuss the droves of commoners seeking refuge in the city. I must confess, Egmont, I don't understand your motivation here. Are you moved by an honest desire to help people, or the expectation of some inscrutable profit? Regardless, you have to put an end to this before it's too late. The food and shelter you offer them only serves to attract more and more refugees to Anazat. And when they finally fill the streets, then what are you going to do? What am I going to do then? The Archduke, the Overseer, what are they going to do? Have you ever considered this? Please understand me, I harbor no ill will towards these people. But Gaius Tempest is concerned that they will eventually start causing trouble. Archduke Melanidas is looking for any excuse to march his punitive battalions into the city, Mayor. Is that really what you want? With all the due respect, Sir Prefect, I cannot do what you ask. These people have nowhere else to go. Nowhere else will help them. Here in Anazat, at least I can offer them some food and shelter. Are you really asking me to let them starve to death? Do not deceive yourself, Augustin. I was one of those who welcomed the new overseer at first, just like all the rest. I hoped that the common estate would get a little bit more breathing room under his rule. But what did Gaius Tempest do? He started his power struggle with the Archduke. He made the double tax possible. He signed the ban on gunpowder. A ban on gunpowder in Magra of all places, a province that lives off the silver ore we mine. Which is why, Sir Elborn, I do not trust the Arknians or the nobility anymore. No, sir, I will not rely on their generosity. The only way I can accomplish anything in this world is by myself, by the sweat of my brow, by sticking my neck out for others. Augustin, you are the only noble in the imperial government I can still trust. You are known throughout the city as the protector of the lowly estate, so protect the lowly estate. Offer protection to the refugees. Convince the overseer to let them stay here. Let me save their lives. I'm very sorry, Egmont, but that's impossible. Gaius Tempest made it very clear that if I cannot resolve the situation, he will bring the Legion into the city and deal with it himself. It pains me to say this, but those people would be better off leaving the city, or maybe even Magra. You must realize this. They should go to Illyria or some other place and start new lives. The only thing waiting for them here in Anazat is death. There's nothing I can do to help them. You glance at Sophia warily. Her brows are furrowed, and her hands are balled into fists. She interrupts Elborn without warning. Enough. Everyone turns to her in surprise. Did a low-born woman just have the audacity to raise her voice while important men were talking? That's enough. You are Baron Augustin Elborn, the prefect of Magra, the protector of the common folk, the last hope for people like me. You're all we've got. Mayor Egmont is right. The Arknians don't care about us at all. As far as the Melodiduses and the Tempests are concerned, we don't even exist. Every commoner in the city knows that there's only one noble in Anazat who actually cares, and that's you, Sir Elborn. Not the Overseer, not the Archduke, not the Magistrate, not the Patriarch, none of them. You're the only man who can change things in the city. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? The Overseer needs your support. He trusts you. He'll listen to you. You don't have to blindly follow his every order. You're free to make up your own mind and speak to him on behalf of the people. I'm begging you, please don't betray us. Don't betray all the trust we've placed in you. Help Mayor save these people. The amber candlelight glimmers and sparkles reflected in Sophia's blue eyes. My apologies, ma'am. We have not been introduced. Sophia, a commoner. A lengthy silence hangs over the room. No one knows what to do. Everyone holds their breath, waiting for Augustin Elborn to react. Thank you, Sophia. Your words... You ought to thank this young lady. Mayor, you will have my support. The refugees may stay. Do your best to give them decent shelter and food, and see if there is any work they can do. I'll see if I can convince the Archduke that they pose no threat, and I'll take the steps to keep the streets safe. The guests thank their hosts for their hospitality, then leave one after the other. You walk Sophia to a carriage. That was some night, eh, Brante? You've got an interesting family. Too bad I'll probably never have reason to get to know them better. The next day, Augustin Elborn makes a statement to the people of Anazat. The prefecture and the Lister Quorum have reached an agreement. The refugees arriving in the city will be offered temporary shelter and provisions. No announcements from the Overseer are forthcoming. Well, that's a lot of new stuff. Just keep getting all of it, why don't we? I think that's going to do it for this episode, though, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you've got anything to say, go to the comments below. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the bell. It helps me out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.